Hi there, my name is Daphne, and I am the creator of this blog called Loved, Redeemed, and Powerful. Usually in videos, I'm singing. I have lots of YouTube videos up of me playing piano and singing, but today I'm going to talk. I'm going to try not to be too long. But this video is my personal testimony of what Jesus has done for me. There's so many things that he's done. I'm just going to give a quick intro and be specific with two events that happened in my life. So I'm going to start. I hope that this touches someone. What you're going to hear is maybe kind of crazy. You think it's kind of far-fetched. I'm making it up. I'm being extra. I'm not. Just listen. So I grew up in an apostolic church until I was about 9 or 10. You know, when you're growing up in church, I just kind of remember running around in church, learning a couple choir songs, lifting your hands with all the adults. But I never really had my own experience with God when I was a kid, like a young kid. That didn't happen until much later. So around the age of 10, my parents broke up, and I wasn't allowed to go to church until I was 18. That was the rule. So, and this was at 14, 13 that this rule was established. And I was so confused. I didn't understand why I wasn't allowed to go. I didn't understand why it was an issue. I just didn't get it. And maybe most other kids would have been like, oh, whatever. I don't really care about church. But I really cared. I was really mad. And I wanted to go. And all I had was this little red Bible that I got when I was like 6 at this event at Blues Fest, and they were handing out Bibles. It's a New Testament Bible, and it was I think it was American Standard Version or something, and it was my only Bible. It was my only communication with God, really. I didn't understand YouTube, really, at that point. I didn't look up sermons. I didn't know who T.D. Jakes was. I didn't know who Joel Osteen was. I didn't know anybody. So all I had was my Bible. I remember reading the Sermon on the Mount a billion times. Like, that was I always read it, but that was all I had. Until a little bit later, I got really close with some of my cousins who were all about God, still all are about God. They answered all my questions. I used to text them, call them, be at their house like every day, just asking them a billion questions about God, asking them this and that, blah, 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 blah. I swear I was annoying. But it really put me on track. Like, I really learned a lot, and I really got more serious. And then around the age of 15, 16 is when I really started to have encounters with God myself. I remember first crying at church when I was 15. I remember getting baptized unexpectedly, and I'll explain how. At 16, I was thinking about getting baptized, but I didn't really, I was just like, whatever, I'll just wait till I'm 18. There's no rush. And I was talking about it with my cousin for like 2 weeks. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, we went to a baptismal service. 2 of my cousins were getting baptized. And I was just like, I don't know. And then at the end, the pastor came up, made a final call. He's like, there's someone here who's been thinking about it, who's been, contemplating, it's been in your heart. God's calling you. And I just remember crying and just going up, and I got baptized. Boom. Done. No, I didn't even have most of my family around. Like, I just got it. It was just my time. And I remember getting home, and my mom was mad that I got baptized. She was annoyed. So now I'm going to get to the two specific. That's how I got serious. And then from then on, other things obviously happened with my walk in God. But that's how I got to that part. So I'll save the other part for later. So yeah, so there's two specific events that happened that really showed me that God was real. There's actually way more, but these are the two specific ones I'm going to tell today. The first one, I'm going to call this one the world premiere testimony, because I've never really given it in public. I never really told it at church. There's some people who know, some people who don't. I'm pretty sure a lot of people might be kind of surprised. But there was one day, I think I was either going into grade 7 or going into grade 6. Had a miserable day, bad day. Something got stolen that I had. Parents driving me crazy. I was just really not happy for a while. I was really not a happy girl. And I was home alone. Everyone left to go to Costco or something. And I was home alone, and I went downstairs. And most families, they have like a knife collection, like certain knives for this and that. And there was this one knife that was on the table, and I walked by it, and I looked at it, and when you look, you should never really have any feeling when you look at a knife, except just be careful. But I looked at this knife, and immediately images of me stabbing myself came into my head. Images of me killing myself, images of my funeral, images of my mom coming home from Costco, finding me dead on the floor, all just flushed my mind. Like, it was like racing. And I started hearing this voice all at the same time, images, this voice saying, just do it, no one cares about you, just do it, blah, 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 blah. And I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on. Ran upstairs, ran to my room. And everything I looked at, there was death in it somehow. Wires of my speaker, I visioned myself strangling myself and visioned myself hanging myself. I would see something kind of big in my room. I imagined myself hitting myself with it. Like, it was just crazy. But everything I looked at, death. Everything I looked at, funeral. Everything I looked at, blood. Like, it was just horrifying. It was just crazy. And it was thoughts in my head, all just thoughts in my head, just rushing. It felt like wind, like, around me. And I have never prayed like that. That was the first time I prayed hard. And I didn't really pray at that point. I didn't really have a relationship with God at that point. I was just 11, 12. Like, it wasn't really a priority. And all I remember saying over and over was, God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. This is not it. I don't want to die. I know I'm not supposed to die right now. Don't let me do this. And I was just terrified. And then I was praying. And then all the rushing and the craziness and everything just went away completely. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear any voices. I didn't sound busy in my mind. Everything was clear. Like, just like when you go to a hospital, it shows like a person's heartbeat and the heartbeat's like racing. It went like flat. Like, just whoosh. Everything in my mind was just dead. Like, my brain was just off. And I looked at all the things. I looked at the knife. I looked at the speakers. I looked at this. I looked at that. Nothing came up into my mind. Like, no thoughts of death. No, like, even if I tried to think about it, God actually just took it away. So all I remember after that was dancing like a crazy woman. Like, just jumping, like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, just going off. I was so happy to be alive. I was so happy. So happy. I don't know what tried to get me. I don't know if it was just a spirit that was trying to get me or something. But God just said no. And I was saved and I was good and I lived. But I never, ever danced like that before. I never remember being so happy. That's the first testimony. Yep. Who would have known that I never would ever think that I would deal with suicidal thoughts, And I kind of forget that I did. But now when I really think about it, I did at that one point. The next thing. So if anyone who's watching this and just like, oh my gosh, don't worry, I'm alive. Don't be scared. This won't happen to you. Like, hopefully not. Like, but everything that God has ever given me and dealt to me, I've been able to handle, and He showed me that. So that's my final say. Don't freak out. I'm alive. The next thing. This happened when I was 15. Or 16. This specific year. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. So I keep itching my nose. This specific year, I got into a lot of fights. Was not happy in high school. I hate high school. I still have no good memories really of high school. And this time of the year, my asthma was really bad. I'm an asthmatic. I have a puffer. I have like 8 different kinds of puffers. I'm very reliant on my puffer. And what happened was I kept waking up at night trying to catch my breath. And it was bad. Like, I really couldn't breathe. I was heaving. I was like gulping for air all the time. And this one night, it was the worst. I literally woke up, couldn't breathe. Like just nothing was coming out. Nothing was coming in. Nothing at all. And I reached for my puffer. Puffer was empty. And obviously I started to panic. But the first thing I did was I just called on Jesus like as much as I could. I couldn't yell for him. I couldn't scream. I couldn't even talk. It was just like a whisper. It was like a Jesus. Like it was like Jesus. Like it was just like ugh. I can't explain it. It was literally the shortest way you could ever say Jesus in your life. That's what I did. But it was my last push of hope because I knew this was bad. I got up, had to just run to the bathroom. My mom woke up, and all I remember was just passing out. I don't remember hitting the floor. I don't remember my mom catching me. To this day, I don't even know. But the next thing I know, I remember waking up with my mom just holding me. And I'm like, what just happened? I had the biggest headache. And I guess I passed out. I stopped breathing. My mom had to do the CPR, not the heart part, just the like mouth to mouth. And it was just a wake up call. Like, I really realized that I almost didn't wake up. I could have woken up with some kind of damage to my organs. Like, it was bad. But to me, all it was right away the message was, God just gave me a second chance. That's it. Like, God's message was, live now. Live for me now. And yeah, that one was pretty crazy. That one was probably one of the scariest moments. So as I continue my blog, I'm going to get more people doing testimonies. I myself am going to give more and more testimonies. There's so many things that God has done for me in every area of my life that is just mind-boggling. I could talk about God for hours, which I almost did, even though this is like a 10-minute video, but I could go on. So I want, for any viewer who's watching this, my prayer is that after watching this, you're not scared, you're not afraid, you're not freaked out. This is all real stuff. Just, it's real. I'm not lying to you. I'm not making it up. I'm a real person. I'm not fake. This is all real. So maybe this is sparking your curiosity, making you actually wonder, like, is there actually a God? Like, is this actually real? Can he actually do stuff like this? He can, trust me. I'm a living example. So my prayer is that this just helps you to get a deeper understanding of God, what he can do for you, the fact that he has your back, the fact that he will protect you, the fact that he knows you, the fact that he will answer you when you call on him. I dare you the next time that you're upset or you're dealing with something to call on Jesus Christ. He will be there. He will be there. He will be there. That's my testimony, part 1 out of part 80. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.